I think you guys can hear me. Sure. We're dividing ourselves. Which is exactly what they want. We divide ourselves by color, race, ethnicity, where we were born, sexual orientation, what football team we cheer for, what kind of shoes we want to wear, what kind of shirt we want to wear, where we shop. No wonder there's a loneliness epidemic. Sorry guys, when I'm eating, use that as a time to like think about what I said, because I don't want to be eating with my mouth full? Talking with my mouth full. It's nice out. Things have been really tough for a lot of people. Things have been tough for me. Mentally, physically. Oh, that broke. Spiritually. Relationships. Money. That's a big thing. And it's one thing to sort of deal with that stuff and try to figure out that individually. But it's another thing to just sometimes sit in the pain of other people as well. Me realizing the pain I have really allows my brain to shine a light on what other people are going through, similar to me and worse than me. We have to realize that life is a paradox. Juxtaposition. Complementary colors on the different ends of a color wheel. Once we realize this, we'll stop fighting ourselves. Once we realize that you are so uniquely you that no one will ever be just like you. No one has ever been just like you. Thousands of years before, thousands of years later. And also realize we're just like each other. Because two things can be true at once. Well, multiple things. And in my IOP program, I learned about ambivalence, holding two truths. And that really helped me realize that I can go to a job and hate it and love it. I can be upset with a family member, but also be compassionate and grateful for all that they've done for me. But we continue to put ourselves in these boxes. It's hard to film with people around. But There's both a lot to say and nothing to say at all. You can't will yourself into being or being conscious. You must be present in your body and your environment. But beating yourself up for being present is just doing the opposite. I just think I know a lot of people feel hopeless right now. But I think this is the time for us to realize our worth. For us to realize a lot of things. You being here was not just an accident. All these things happening weren't just accidents. They're a reflection of our inner world as humans. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of judgment. I think things will get a lot better once people really understand the laws of cause and effect. What you put in, you get out. Not just action, but thought, intention. Why you're doing the things you're doing. It's hot out here. Life's not that simple yet. It is. You can be beautiful to someone and be ugly to the next. You can graduate top of your class in high school and struggle the most with tests in college. But once we start seeing that, we can move on. Once we start seeing that there's no one right way to do life. They wanted us to think that. They wanted us to think that you're born, you go to school, you go to college, you go to work. You've heard it many times before. You retire. All of those things are collapsing. A lot of Gen Z, let alone Gen Alpha, have given up on the thought of owning a home or having a baby. But what if we started thinking about different ways on doing that? Not just different ways on doing that, but different ways of living, creative living. I read this book, Big Magic, by Elizabeth Gilbert. I think almost like a year ago now. But some of the things really stick with me. She talks about creative living and a bunch of other things. But who said you had to choose? Who said that you just had to be a doctor? Ride that out until you're 70. Who said that you had to be a painter? Ride that out until you're not a starving artist anymore. This led me to like learn about portfolio careers. My mom sent me an article about it like I think about a year ago, but I haven't been really putting two and two together. But so many people have more than one job already. You already have a portfolio career. A portfolio career is basically there's multiple different things that you do as your career instead of having like a singular career path. Oh, this is getting hot. Let's change angles. But I don't know. It's not hopeless. We just have to think differently. This might ruffle some feathers, but I think it's something interesting to talk about. Is I've read and been meditating, chanting about it, praying about it, talking about it, thinking about it. What if, I'm not completely sure, so don't quote me on it, but I think like Christians believe that Jesus will come back, like resurrect, and like save everybody that like believes and like truly believes in God and is not a sinner. I assume that's what it is. What if instead of Jesus literally, like the Messiah, literally coming back on one grand evening where the sun is setting and everything looks golden and everybody that was ever bad just burns? What if that second coming of Christ is the second coming of Christ within us? Christ being your Buddhahood. Christ being opening your third eye, being conscious of the things you are doing, of the things you are consuming and creating and looking at and being and relating and communicating. I think that I read that concept in The Power of Now. I haven't finished it yet, but we all have a disease of overthinking, but it's just normal. So we just, let it be that. We also all have an addiction. Social media. I know that my mom, like my parents, when social media first like started coming out and stuff, they were like, "Oh, it's that damn phone. Like, stop being on your phone all the time." Da da da. And I was like pissy about it, not gonna lie. But they were right. But it's interesting how the same people that have been saying that now partake in that. It's now everyone's addiction. Some people can't even understand what it means to live without social media. Some people were born into it. Like, they don't know what it was before. I'm grateful that I did, but some people don't. I don't know. I feel like something is coming in a good way. I think that a lot of these problems that we see today were problems that were already here, but they're just being illuminated further so we can see just how corrupt everything is, so we can push ourselves. Sometimes you have to see the very, very ugly parts of the world and yourself to even want to try to change. And I think a lot of us are seeing that ugly, but it's our choice to either wallow in the sadness of what is, or we could see what's not working and work on what could be. Instead of feeding consumerism and capitalism and all of these things where money is really just the center of everything when money was man-made. Why would something man-made be the center? Wouldn't something like nature be the center? Something that was here before us? You're not ever really lonely. We're all connected, for one. But you have nature. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but you do. I feel less lonely when I'm just in the middle of nature than when I'm in a room full of people at a party. That's when I usually feel the most lonely. But they don't want you to be in nature. They don't want you to read books. No. They don't want you to make art or think for yourself. They want you to be helpless. Hopeless. So ingrained in their system that you can't get out. I watched a video where they were saying that consumerism is just modern day slavery perfected. That has to be another whole video because that would be too hard to get into. But people didn't used to need all of these things. People cry and scream for a Labubu. What the? Like, do you guys not see? If you want a Labubu, that's fine. But ask yourself why you want it. Is it to show it off? Is it because you just really like them? How often do you do things that are just for you? Not because someone else thinks you should, or you think you should do it because you think someone else thinks you should do it. Mind reading, which none of us can do. Well, a little secret, guys. I believe some people have superpowers. Like, I think we all have superpowers. Don't cut it off yet, guys. I feel like we all have our own superpowers. Like, some people are just very... It might not be like, oh, shoot fire out of your hands. Who knows, you know? But, like, no one's dumb. You just haven't found what your smart is. I'm not good with numbers. But I'm damn good with words, I feel. And just being creative and thinking of things and optimization and efficiency and organization and typing and things that other people may not be good at or hate. And that sounds like boring to them. But there's other things that people love and think about every single day and do every single day that I could not imagine doing. Because we all have our own superpowers. I think that you should not strongly detest something that you can neither confirm nor deny. Unless you give me the proof that there's no aliens, there's no need to protest about it. There's no need to be upset about it. Unless you can confirm these beliefs about people you never have ever met, I want you to stop right there. Do some research. If your hate persists after knowing the facts, then good on you. Your hate runs deep. I love that for you. The camera overheated, so I'm just gonna try to end it with something meaningful. But I'm tired of, like, being stagnant because I'm scared. Because I'm trying to pick the perfect path so I don't make a step forward. But what if we just stepped forward? Maybe there's no path at all. Humans look at things like linear occurrences when, what if there's never lines at all? We don't have to look at life as a table chart or a line graph. What if it was so different than what we expect or think that it would be? But we don't know. And that's why I say you cannot confirm nor deny anything that you don't have proof of. At least pushing it on other people. Like, I cannot say that there's not a God or not a higher power or this is right or this is wrong. But I can say that I have proof that the things that I'm learning and the things that I'm understanding, especially when it comes to Buddhism, have proven true. But I think we all should just have the mindset that you're never going to know everything, and that should be exciting and happy. Like a happy thought for you. But I'm just ready to get out of my own way. I'm just ready to go. If I want to be an artist and a healer and a life coach and a painter and a teacher and a cat sitter then I can do it. Then I should do it. I was so worried for like a long time that I was just too scatterbrained and couldn't make decisions. But what if making choices is just a delusion? An illusion of our diluted minds. But I think that's all I'm gonna say for now, guys. Well, let me see. I'm gonna see if it doesn't overheat, and I can do a quick card thing. I like oracle cards. Also, another thing that I want to say is, like, oracle cards and tarot cards, they don't tell your future. They're just to help you, like, if you're feeling stuck, if you need a little guidance. They're not to tell you yes or no. They're to tell you different ways to think of your life, different ways to see your life. We need to stop with the whole, like, oh, that's so woo-woo. It overheated it again, so I'm just going to stop my tangents, but it was come to the edge. I'm going to read it for myself. If you guys want to know, like, exactly, like, what it was, I can read it later. But I basically was just saying, don't discount things before you know. Like, what if you just don't know? What if you're sick because you haven't been outside in so long? What if your brain is foggy because you haven't been drinking enough water or eating enough food? Like, don't discount the simple things and don't discount the things that you don't understand yet. But I hope whoever ends up watching this got something useful from the video. And I hope that you keep chugging along and do exactly what you want to do. As long as it doesn't harm anyone else. As long as it doesn't harm anyone else, I don't care what you do, as long as you're happy. And doesn't harm yourself, okay? No loopholes, okay? Okay, I'm just making this long now. Bye.